Alright, so grade 12 senza manje i-past paper physical sciences i-common test yango-March 2023. Okusho ukuthi kuthiwa i-common test le, they didn't specify ukuthi paper 1 noma paper 2. So you should expect both chemistry and physics questions in one paper. Okusho kuyokwenza qhamuka umbuzo we-physics kuyokwenza qhamuka we-chemistry. Why? I-common test engaspecifiyiwe ukuthi kuyenza mhlawumbe kuthiwa paper 1 common test, yabo? But uma bengasho ukuthi paper 1 noma paper 2 babhala common test kuphela. That means that paper contains i-physics nani ne-chemistry phakathi. Alright. So before starting umbuzo uyazi ukuthi on every paper we read ama instructions. And then from ama instructions we move on to question 1 mase siphendula kanjalo size siyoqeda. So ama instructions of this paper, write your name on the answer book. Kusho ukuthi bazokunikeza i-answer book la uzobuphendulela khona. You have to write your name lapho. Uma bethi your name baqondisa igama lakho kumele ulibhale lapho. Nani nesibongo. Usungayi-add ne-grade uma ukuthi ama-class mabili mhlambe enza i-physics ka grade 12. Yabo, but uma uthi iyodwa there's no need. And then this question consists of 7 questions. Answer all the questions in the answer book. Okusho ukuthi wonke ama questions akhona la kumele uwaphendulile. Ayikho zoyeqa. And then so starts each question on a new page in the answer book. Okusho ukuthi asithi nje nali page la. Asithi nali elinye la elilandelayo elinye page leli. Mhlambe kuchaze la Newton chaza uqede nje la mhlawumbe usuthi meter per second squared la sihlambe usuqedile but uchaza something uphendula ubala nani iphele la i-question yakho usufuna uqala question 3 ungawubhali la ukuthi question 3 la uzowuqala la ubani question 3 kuyima usuphendula umsebenzi wa question 3 ungawuqali la uzobugcine khona. You have to start each question on a different page, on a new page. Okusho ukuthi i-question ne-question uzoyiqala kwini kwi-page elisha, akukho la uzophinda khona imibuzo u2 on one question, on one page I mean. And then kuthiwa number the answers correctly according to the numbering system used in this question paper. Okay, number the question correct. So kusho ukuthi lama questions lawa mawuphendula question 3.1 nawe bhala ukuthi le answer ibhala ya 3.1 uthi 3.1 ufake i-answer ka 3.1. Asingaboni la kubhalwe khona u3.2 kune answer ya 3.1 khona. Uyayizwa nje le kumele kuhambiselane i-question ne-answer. Yilento abayichazayo la. Leave one line between two subsections. For example, question 2.1 and question 2.2. Alright, asithi again nali i-page lethu. Let's just say lihlukaniswe ulining abakanje laba onjani ozobhala kubona. Asithi ke nje for leli page bangako line. So wena uzobhala ukuthi 2.1 angithi mhlambe state Newton's second law uzothi when a net force blah 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 and then uzogcina inversely proportional to the mass of the object. Igcina kanje igcina full stop. Sithi usuyayiqeda ke la musu uqala u2.2 lana shiya uline owodwa oblank ongabhalwe lutho bese uzoqala uzothi 2.2 usungaqala mhlawumbe uzothi f net is equals to ma mawuthi kanjani mhlawumbe yilonto ekumele uyenze. But into abayichaza kule instruction ukuthi mawusuqeda uzoshiya isikhala qala before uzoqala enye i-question. Wangakwenza lokho kunama consequences ozowaface. Why? Kuzokwenzeka la uphendule khona umbuzo mhlambe ngendlela e-wrong, wenza mistake encane mase uqhubeka nayo lo answer e-wrong kodwa ngendlela e-right. Lapho ke kukhona into ekuthiwa i-positive marking engenayo ukuthi ukube uyithole i-right la ngabe zonke zezingezi-right yenzele, so you get a few marks. I konke phela because at the end of the day ku-wrong angithi, but i-method yakho e-correct yayizwa into leyo. So mawuzowenza njalo ujike futhi ungawalandeli ama-instruction ngeke bakucabangele. ngeke bakucabangela. Akuwukuthi nje yonke into yakho uyenze ngendlela ukuze uma befuna ukukunika mhlawumbe imali elithize, hayi ukuthi awulideserve but uwenze iphutha ukuthi mhlawumbe nje ku-acceleration uvele ubhale accelerate. Yayizwa into leyo. I-answer uma ngu-acceleration, we need acceleration, but izinto ey'ncane kanje uma ukuthi uyawenza lo maphutha and plus awalandeli nama-instruction, ngeke base basaku-awarda lo mamaki. Why? Because awadeserve. Alright, so okulandela, so you may use a non-programmable calculator. Le case le oyisebenzisayo vele esikoleni iyona ezokusiza to answer ama questions of physical science. You are advised to use the attached data sheet. Ngasekugcineni kukhona i-data sheet le. Iyona ke le data sheet le enjani ephethe ama-formula wonke, ephethe ama constants akho wonke, mass of the earth, the radius of the earth, the gravitational acceleration, mass of one electron. Zonke lezo zinto lezo ziphethwe i-data sheet. Ngeke uzukwazi ukuphendula imibuzo ethize uma unjani i-data sheet ungayisebenzisi. Why? Kunama constants owadingayo, kunama formula owadingayo. Alright, so okulandela kuthiwa show all formulae and substitutions in all calculations. For example, let's just say capital calculator, the weight of mhlawumbe objects mhlawumbe asithi nayo 2 kg ehlela. When uyazi ukuthi W is equal to mg, yayizwa into leyo. Bese kumele wenze njani? Yayiveza iformula esebenzisayo. You substitute u-m u2, u-g uyamthola kwi-data sheet u9.8, and then 2 times 9.8 uzokunikeza 19.6 newtons. Yabo, so la you showed the formula yakho, was substitute kuyona i-formula correctly, and you gave us an answer. Iyona into abayifunayo. Ungavele wena usuqhamuka uthi hayi i-weight is 2 times 9.8, which is equal to 19.6 newtons. Alright, but where did you take this? We thathela le nto ebhalayo. You have to show us. Okusho ukuthi umuntu ozokumakela kumele umkhombise phela ukuthi awulahlekile la. Awulahlekile njobo. Alright, and then to round off your final numerical answers to a minimum of 2 decimal places. Alright, njengoba ufunda umatric grade 12, wena uground off shouldn't be into ezokunikeza inkinga. Why? You will fail to get ama answers ubusuwatholile. Usulo ground off kuphela. Yabo. So, ma round off i-answer enama decimal. For example, let's just say uthole i-answer as 17.7146 mhlawumbe. Iyona i-answer oyitholile le. So, uma kukhona u0, u1, u2, u3, u4, wena every time you round down. Uma kukhona u5, 6, 7, 8, 9, wena you will round up. Lezi number enkulu which are greater than 4, they will round up the number. Ake siyibone le nto le into practice. Nayi ke i-answer siyitholile 17.7146, but sifuna thina ama decimals awu2 after the comma, which means njengoba zu4 lezi number sifuna zu2 thina. So ayibhale ngefont enkulu khona uzokwazi ukuyibona. So 17.714 kanje. Yabo? So yini esibhekayo thina? So I round up to a minimum of 2 decimal places. Angithi okusho ukuthi thina we are only concerned about le 2 ela. Yabo? Nayi ke le 2 le. Now 7 no 1, and when you look at the peak, the last one nansi. Kulezi ezu2 ubuka le yokugcina, le yesibili kahle kahle. Ukuthi njani ke yona. And then masuyibukile usuwenza njani? Usubheka le elandela yona. Ngisho sakhona ezinge la awunendaba nazo. Le landela yona ifola under qephi lana. Yabo? In this case u4 angithi uma ku4 u4 unjani? U-round down angithi, so therefore i-answer izoshintsha ibe u0. Ayinyusi le. Okusho ukuthi i-answer yethu isizoba u17.71. Yabo? Isinani isinama decimals awu2, hayi awu4. By that i-answer yakho is expressed ngani? Ngokobey ama instructions abakunikeze wona. What if ibithe kanje? Mhlambe kuthiwa 17.716 mhlambe. Yabo? Again nala to 2 decimal places ubheka the first 2 after i-comma 7-1 lo landela yena ke ufola underclip la buka ke manje useyila ku-up u-up uyayinyusa inumber kanye. So what do we have? We have u6 la yilo 6 ozonyusa lo 1 lo kuzoyenza njani kuzopluseka ngo1. So now our answer will be 17,72. Uyabona umehluko 17,71 17,72. So yilo mehluko lo okwenza ukuthi ugcine i-answer yakho usuyibhala kube ngathi i-wrong kanti wena ohluleke uground off. But ke yona instruction ekumele uyilandele leyo. And then i-instruction elandelayo kuthiwa give brief motivations, discussions, etc. where required. Baqonda ukuthini kuma ratio njalo. Bathi la kumele khona umotivate i-answer yakho where you need to give a reason for your answer. Do so. Mawukuthi kumele ufake i-diagram to explain enza njalo. Whatever it is ongayenza ukuze uveze kancanywane ukuthi lento osuyibhalile i-correct ibhale. Bakunikeza leyo mvumo. And then the last instruction number 12 ithini write neatly and legibly. Okusho ukuthi mawusubhala noma isandla sakho siyisimbi kodwa asibe neat ngokuthi amagama awagqagqane kahle abe nespace. Number 2 okulandelayo lapho noma i-handwriting yakho iyimbi kodwa ayibe enkulu ibonakale because we want to see yini lo ebhalile asinendawo ukuthi u-F wakho perfect kangakanani. No, as long as it is an F and you can see it's an F, it is neat ka physics uso right. Uyayizwa into leyo. So now sesokwazi ukuthi siphendule lo mbuzo lo ophambi kwethu as i-multiple choice. Ukhumbuleke i-multiple choice benzani? They give you 4 questions, 4 options. I mean now ama options are 4 ahambiselana nani ne-statement esithize. And then when you have to choose i-arrangement la yamagama or yama-physical quantities ahambiselanayo nani nale statement onikezwe sona ngala. And then ukhumbuleke i-answer yakho uma usibhala i-answer yakho wenza njani? Ubhala inamba le ye-question ne-alphabet yani ye-answer yakho. Ungabhali ukuthi mhlawumbe 1,1 masuthi displacement and momentum cha. Mawuthi i-answer yakho le uzofaka u-A awufaki ini igama ehambiselana no-A. Okusho ukuthi asifundeni la eqaleni kuthiwani a body slides along a frictionless underline horizontal surface at constant velocity for which one of the following pairs are the magnitudes of both physical quantities 0. Balekile ku0 yabo. Alright buka. So u-frictionless uqonda ukuthini? Uqonda ukuthi le surface abahamba kuyona does not heavy friction. Okusho ukuthi it is smooth and not rough. Uyayizwa into le. Ayikho into ezama ukubuyisela i-system emumva while iya phambili. Ayikho i-force. There's no energy that opposes i-energy eya kwi-original direction. Uyayizwa into le. So i-frictionless there is no friction. Alright. Kwathiwani constant velocity. Ngakutshela ke ngo-constant velocity ukuthi usitshelani. Usitshela izinto ezimbili u-constant velocity. But ke sizoyichaza manje lezo zinto lezo. Kwathiwani pairs. Kwathiwani pairs. U-pair sikhuluma ngezinto ezimbili ngoba nawe if you're going to buy a pair of shoes uzotholani isicathulo saka left nesicathulo saka right. So nala we want ama physical quantities amabili. Njengoba ubona nala ahamba ngama pairs yabo. Ahamba ngo2. So ufuna ukhethe i-pair ehambiselana nale statement. Alright. I-magnitude yawo mabili ama physical quantities i0. So uma i-body it is sliding, which means iyashushuluza kwi-surface enjani smooth. For example, wena wake wazama ukushushuluza endaweni engashushuluzeki khona. Kwenza njani? Wacishe wow. Mawusiyazama kusheshe kubalanceke wenze njani? Kungaslideki, especially mhlambe kwama tiles mawuhamba ngeenyawo. But kwama tiles once wagqoka ama sokisi it becomes smoother. Why? Ama sokisi they can slide through any ama tiles. So now the object is sliding through its surface is smooth. Ayinayo friction. And then while it slides, since inganayo friction, ihamba at constant velocity. Igama elithi constant ngathi kona liqonda ukuthini? Igama elithi constant liqonda ukuthi conserve or does not change. It will never change. Injani, i-constant ayishintshile at any point in time. I-velocity is the same. Okusho ukuthi mawukuthi nje le object njengoba i-slider asithi ngo-2 o'clock ndo. I-slider iyadlula ngo-5 meters per second. Mawukuthi isa-slider ayikaze ime. Seku 2:30, 30 minutes late, it'll still travel at 5 meters per second. Why? I-velocity i-constant. Ayishintshi i-velocity. But i-velocity is related nani? I-velocity is related ne-acceleration. Yini acceleration? Acceleration is the rate of change of i-velocity. NgesiZulu, lonto isitshela ukuthini? Isitshela ukuthi i-acceleration kahle kahle isitshela ukuthi le speed sayo le objects esihamba kwi direction ethize siyanyuka noma siyehla ngenombolo ethize. Uyayizwa into leyo? Okusho ukuthi uma i-velocity ishintsha imoto or lo object iya accelerate. Okusho ukuthi mayingasashintshi. Remember i-formula acceleration. Acceleration is the rate of change of i-velocity. Delta V over delta T. Or omunye ngathi VF minus VI all over delta T. Uma u-VF phela selingana no-VI kusho 0 phela VF minus VI kanti bayalingana at any point in time. VF is equal to VI. So if you're trying to get umehluko between izinto ezifanayo, awukho umehluko. So if ungekho umehluko, we heading to u0. Yabo? So now you know every time kuthiwa constant velocity, it should tell you 0 acceleration. Sesiyazi ukuthi acceleration is one of our answers, but ikhona acceleration la, ikhona acceleration la, ikhona acceleration futhi iseyindaweni eziwu2. Okusho ukuthi i-answer yethu is u-B noma u-D. Uyayizwa nje already nje siphendulile the first half. Sisebenziseni i-constant velocity. Leli igama leli lento engikutshela yona ukuthi mawufunda i-statement kunamagama azokulimaza kwi-calculation mawungaba understand. Nalana okusho ukuthi wena ubusazoyifuna le-acceleration uyitshela ukuthi awunikeziwe ngoba manje abakaze bakutshela i-acceleration yuba, but they told you ukuthi i-constant velocity ikhona ngithi. So if i-velocity i-constant, it means 0 acceleration. Yabo vele bafuna izinto eziwu2 ezizoba u0 usize wawo uma i-object islider through i-surface esmooth enganayo i-friction while ihamba nge-velocity enjani e-constant. Alright, sesiyazi i-constant velocity means 0 acceleration. Asidluleleke phambili. Uma seku-0 acceleration, i-acceleration leads us to what? According to Newton's second law, acceleration is directly proportional to the net force. Okay, mawuthi usukhohliwe asike siphinde Newton's second law of motion in words. Alright, so when a net force acts on an object, the object will accelerate in the direction of the force at an acceleration that is directly proportional to the net force. Okusho ukuthi i-acceleration is directly proportional to any net force. Yabo, at an acceleration that is directly proportional to the net force and inversely proportional to the mass. Yabo, but we don't need that part because la ayikho in mass. Yabo? Alright, so sesiyazi ukuthi le acceleration is directly proportional to any net force. Uyazi i-direct proportion ikutshela ukuthini. You have two quantities, angithi. When one quantity increase, the other will increase. When one quantity decrease, the other will decrease. When one quantity is multiplied by 2, nale enye will be multiplied by 2. So, it was decreased to 0. Angithi, because of constant velocity, we now have 0 acceleration. Kodwa yonke into eyenzeka kwi-acceleration isinikezani yonke into ezokwenzeka kwi-net force. Okusho ukuthi okwenzeka kwi-net force kwenza kwi-acceleration and vice versa. Okusho ukuthi njengoba sekuthiwa 0 acceleration, it also tells us 0 net force according to Newton's second law. I-law in words isho njalo. Asiprove nange-maths ke manje. Let's use the equation. F net is equal to ma. Angithi, it is mass times any acceleration. But remember, according to commutative law, owayifunda ka grade 7, 8 and 9, uyazi ukuthi MA is the same as AM, because if you multiplying 2 times 3 uyafana no 3 times 2. Yes, so MA uyafana AM, kukwenza uyi-expressa kanjani. But then siyazi because of a constant velocity, the acceleration is 0. Okusho ukuthi it is now mass multiplied by 0. It is not MA manje, it is M times 0. Angithi why A is 0? Because it travels at constant velocities. Alright, buka. Any number or anything multiplied by 0 gives us gives us 0. Why? Remember, a multiplication is just a repeated addition. We are using the okusho ukuthi mhlawumbe sithi 2 times 3 uyafana no 2 plus 2 plus 2. Uyayibona into le u2 mawuphinda ka3 kufana nokuthi uadd o2 ka3. Uyayizwa into le okusho ukuthi um masumphinda ka0, which means awumphinda inhlobo, which is why answer yakho izoba u0. Uyayizwa into le. But since this is the net force u0 newtons, buka bebefunani ama physical quantities amangaki awu2, so uthatha u2 bathe phe. Uyayizwa into le, bathe phe ngitshela ukuthi phe kusuke kuhamba ngani izinto eziwu2 ezihamba ndawonye. Therefore awukwazi ukuthatha i-displacement ne-net force la noma i-displacement no-momentum kanje cha. Kuzomela uhambiselane according to ama-alphabets which are assigned to lama pairs angala. Alright, so sesiyazi ukuthi yini ke ezoba u0. The acceleration izoba u0, the net force izoba u0. Remember, acceleration is the rate of change of velocity, and net force it is the product of mass and acceleration. It is the vector sum of 2 or more forces added together algebraically. Uyayizwa into le. Kodwa buka kanani iphi ke manje acceleration and net force? Nansi yabo, acceleration and net force yayibothi ihambiselana ndawonye. Akukho anywhere else la bekhuluma khona nge-acceleration and net force. Buka ke, let's prove ukuthi nalamanye ama-answer are wrong, because let's prove it ukuthi right, but asikaze siwabuke wonke. Remember, it will happen ukuthi sometimes kunama-answer mhlawumbe awu2 are right kodwa kukhona right more than enye, which is why you need to check wonke ama-option and be sure about the answer yakho, because ngelinye ilanga mhlawumbe ungabona i-acceleration uvele uyikhethe la uyibone khona kuqala, ungabe usanaka ukuthi hayi bo ne-net force njalo, yabo. So i-displacement la grade 10 usafunda emotion in 1 dimension, even nga grade 12 manje njengoba ufunda grade 12 you're doing a vertical projectile motion. We are talking about the displacement, the change in position of an object in space. Okusho ukuthi ngoba sesiqedile ngalo angimsusi, we now know we answer, but we are trying to prove manje ukuthi ngempela i-answer yethu i-correct yini. So i-answer yethu siyazi sobhala ukuthi 1,1 and the alphabet esikhethayo sikhethe bani u-D yabo. Asiproveni ukuthi u-A u-wrong ngempela u-wrong mawuthi ucabanga ukukhetha. This is the reason why kade ngamele ukhethe. Kukhulunywa nge-displacement ne-momentum. Alright, first check, are these two things scalars or vectors, or scalar and vector? Kwenzakalani? I-displacement is a vector, momentum is a vector. Okay, fine, so we are on the correct path. But displacement it is a change in position in space. That means the final position ukuthi usuke manje minus kade ukephi izosinikeza i-displacement. Ayisitshela lutho nge-constant velocity. Ayikho la ezingasiyalela kwi-displacement. Angithi so already one of them is wrong. Uyayibona into le. And momentum is the product of an object's mass and its velocity. P is equals to mv. Kuthiweni constant velocity. Low velocity constant actually almost 0. So if it's not 0, then it has a momentum which is not 0. Yabo, okusho ukuthi even the momentum yakhona la wrong. So la khona khona i-displacement the momentum usuyazi konke wrong. Nayi wrong. Le ibe right. Le na le right, le wrong. So le right na le right. La khona o correct indawo zo2 because they wanted a pair. Ila kuzoba khona right khona. So as ufunda grade 12 wena kunezinto sekumele ujule manje when you're understanding these concepts in order to understand any statement ukwazi ukhetha i-answer right. So i-answer yethu nje is just 1.1 sikhetha u-D. Aseni ngumbuzo olandelayo. Alright, so now umbuzo nala question 1.2. A satellite orbits the Earth at point X, where the gravitational force is a quarter, 1/4, or 25% of the gravitational force it experiences on the surface of the Earth. So a nice satellite la, at a certain distance above the surface, na radius of the Earth la, the Earth is satellite. If the radius of the Earth is R, then the height of the satellites above, in bold capital letters, above the surface of the Earth will be A, 4R, B, 2R, C, 2R. Okay, so, E force, to be specific, E gravitational force, UF uma ila emhlabeni on the surface of the Earth. Got at point X, a certain distance above the surface of the Earth, if force is multiplied by 1/4. Uyazi-ke uthini-ke uNewton's law, universal gravitation, about distance and force. The square of the distance between the centers of two objects is inversely proportional to the gravitational force that exists between those two objects. Between lava and lava, the distance between the centers squared is inversely proportional to the gravitational force existing between them, the force of attraction. Aye man, uma ngithi 1/4. 1/4 is 0.25. Umnyanga to 25%. Which means it decreases from being 100% to 25%. Our masses do not change. It is the distance that changes. It was R. So distance distance has to be greater. That is a new distance because now they're still starting from the center of the Earth towards any satellites, which means it is R plus a certain component of R. But we know with the F is equal to G M1 M2 all over R squared. But K at the surface of the Earth, uma sekula kube sekubani seku 1/4 G M1 M2 all over R squared. Uyayibona into le. Lo 1/4 uyawubona uqhamuka kuthula, which means kwenzeke kanje, the distance was doubled. If the distance is doubled, kuzokuba uG M1 M2 all over 2R squared. Angithi mase kuba uG M1 M2 2 squared or 4R squared. As you can see, kukhona 1 la phezulu. 1/4 and uG M1 M2 over R squared. It is just F. Both the distance was doubled. It is the radius of the Earth plus any radius kodwa esi distance, which means the answer is it is R, which means kukhona omunye uR nje ola olingana na ne radius of the Earth, which means le satellite le it is radius of the Earth meters above the surface, which means if mawusuka we center of the Earth multiply a radius ka2, you will reach the satellite at point X. Yabo, the answer yethu siyibhala kanjani? Uyazi sizobhala ukuthi 1.2 and then mase sakhetha sithe sizokhetha ba R. Why ngithi R? Ngoba nje ku 2R la they included the radius, which means fana ukuthi bathe G M1 M2 all over R plus R squared. Fanele sibenze nje. Ukhona already lo R lo, which means kushoda oyedwa ukuze phela i-gravitational force injani ibe decreased to 1/4f. Yabo? It becomes a quarter of the original. Okusho ukuthi ke i-answer yethu C. 1.2 skhetha C. And then sesidlulela question 1.3. Alright, so it's a girl standing in a lift observes a 10 Newton mass piece suspended from a spring balance that is fixed to the roof of the lift. A girl standing in a lift observes a 10 Newton mass piece suspended from a spring balance that is fixed to the roof of the lift. Okusho ukuthi lo muntu lo ukwi-lift kahle kahle an elevator uphakathi kanje. The time ephakathi ubonani? Ubona i-mass piece elengayo la. And leyo mass piece kuthiwa kubhaliwe kuthiwa you 10 newtons. Yes. And then she sees that the reading on the spring balance is greater than 10 newtons. Which means uyayibona lento ithiwa lento le you 10 newtons kodwa i-reading ebhalwe phezulu ingaphezulu kwa 10 newtons. So base bayabuza ke. During this time interval, the lift is not moving at constant velocity, accelerating upwards, accelerating downwards. Azame sikwazi ukhetha ke manje. So, sesiyazi ukuthi khona le ntombazane le ephakathi kuyona i-lift ibona i-mass piece suspended by a spring balance, and leso spring balance sihamba ne-mass piece ka 10 newtons. Uyangizwa? Njengoba su 10 newtons, bese abheka ke i-reading ekuyona ke le spring balance, a check ukuthi hayibo kwi-time interval ethize between iy'nkathi ey'thize ike yanyuka yawudlula lo 10 newtons. Sebayabuza i-lift ibiyenzani ngaleso sikhathi? Ibihamba at constant velocity noma ibimile noma ibinyuka at acceleration which is upwards, or ibiyehla with an acceleration downwards. Bekwenzakalani? Was the speed increasing? Was the speed decreasing? Kwenzakalani? Was the lift moving upwards? Was the lift moving downwards? Was it at constant velocity? Remember, constant means it does not change. So if velocity la iyafana. Alright. La it is accelerating upwards, which means the velocity of yona le lift is increasing every second. Accelerating downwards, it is decreasing every second, or it is increasing every second in the opposite direction. Alright, and then sekumele sikhetheke phela manje ukuthi yona iphi true for i-lift whereby we are 10 newtons at a certain time babone i-interval engaphezulu. First of all, it can't be moving. Angel is already out, it cannot be moving. Why? If it's not moving, therefore the acceleration is 0. Therefore the net force acting la is 0. Therefore, ngesakwazi ukuthi abone i-mass i-reading kwi-mass piece engaphezulu kwa 10 newtons. And then B. Moving at constant velocity uyafana nje nalo ngobani? Constant velocity means 0 acceleration, ifana ukuthi umile. Yabo? And then buka accelerating upwards, accelerating downwards. How do we choose which one ke manje? Sibona ngani ngona ngo. Remember they said it was greater. It was greater, not smaller. If it's greater, also upwards. So therefore, the answer yakho would be the lift is accelerating upwards. Great, because it was smaller than buzokhetha, we're accelerating downwards. Yabo? Why? Even now, so pelisindo sakhe lo sisilo sikhombe phansi. Iweight le. So the answer is kanjani? So it's 1.3. Kanji sibhale question number and the alphabets assigned to our correct answer, which is C. So sibhale 1.3 is C. Asibona ngumbuzo 1.4.